Executive Director. I'll start again. I'm Marilyn Turkmenich, Executive Director for the Charter for Compassion. And one of the things that we've been doing over the last month and will continue to do until the end of the year is that we're actually having these kinds of community chats, either with countries, like in this case, this is a US chat, and we're trying to do them every 4 or 5 weeks. The other thing is that we're doing country chats like this, but with Australia, New Zealand, India, South Africa, and the UK. And then we're also doing some state chats as well. And there's Lisa from Texas. So Lisa knows we're doing Texas chats. We're doing California, Compassionate California chats. We do Canadian chats. And it's just a way for us to let people see one another and maybe have an opportunity to chat with one another at the same time, get to know people who are involved in the charter, and give you a little bit of an update of what's going on with the charter. So I'm wondering, as new people were coming in as we started, people are putting next to their name in the chat where they're from in the US. And so if new people could do that, that would be great. And I'm wondering if people would just be willing to go around and say something about who they are as an opener. And thank you, Joanna, that you're part of the Lower Skagit Skellum people. I happen to be on the land of the Suquamish, where the name of Chief Self gave his name to Seattle. But I'm not in Seattle. I'm just on the land of the Suquamish. I'm in Kingston, Washington, and a nice ferry ride over to the mainland with a very quick ride up to Canada, so which is a great place to live. So I'm wondering if we could go around, and Michelle, do you mind just saying hi to everyone, where you're from, and maybe something that you're passionate about or what you do? Or
no problem. It's wonderful to be with everyone. My name's Michelle Sherman, and I've always wondered why we can't just play nice and love each other. For the last 35 years, I've been a success coach and have decided to take a sabbatical, and am in the process of reorienting myself so I can be of greater service and rethinking what I can do for the next 30, 40 years. So, and my company is Vast Institute. And I really believe that, being optimistic is not just a life skill. It's something that we've been given to really optimize. There's a lot of things that we can already do that are here. So I just am very happy to be part of the group. And I was a member at the very beginning when the Dalai Lama came here to Seattle. So, and have done classes. And I'm starting a not-for-profit about illumination, because it shouldn't be that difficult. I think it's available to people. They just don't realize it's available. So
great.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And Martin.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm a newcomer here, and I'm originally from Wisconsin. I lived in Philadelphia for over a decade, and now I'm in Hollywood, California. My passion is education. I have a company called ENSO Education Institute, which is doing a model of education to transform education, schooling, and learning for the 21st century. The world has changed a lot in the last 100 years, but the education system hasn't changed, and
Yep.
we're trying to figure out what would work better for us in the future.
Well, Martin and everyone else here, I'd love to invite you to our education EdNet forums, and they happen the first and the third Thursdays, Pacific time, 7:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock. And what we try and show and showcase actually during that time period are some innovations that are happening around the world. You remind me of Loving Classroom, which we had a few months ago, and we're in negotiation with now of making certain that we make that available to people who come. So maybe Merida, if you have a moment, you can put it, you probably already did, put it in the chat so that you might check it out. We record everything. And on Thursday, we have Dr. Lisa Miller from Columbia University, who's written a wonderful book on Wake Up Schools. She's a psychologist and has written a number of books. Pardon me?
That's Awakened Schools.
Awaken Schools,
Wake
because
Up Schools, yeah.
Wake Up Schools, we had a couple of weeks ago. Wake Up Schools comes from Plum Village, Thich Nhat Hanh, and we're real excited also about working with that organization, and we'll be starting very soon in the fall with that. So we could really use your input as well. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for
And
the information.
oh, yeah. Okay. And, my apologies because I'm not sure. I'm guessing that the M for Horman stands for Michelle or Margaret or something that maybe is Mary or March or whatever. So,
Well, it happens to be Marilyn Sophie Horman.
okay. I guessed everything except my own name. So, okay.
And I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the heart of the heartland. And this is my first time with this group.
Great. Where is that? Portland, Indiana.
Fort Wayne,
Oh,
Indiana.
Fort Wayne. I'm sorry. It's my hearing. Fort Wayne. I know Fort Wayne. Okay. Part of my whole adult life was in Chicago. So Indiana was a place that we would often visit. So thank you for coming today. Steve. I'm just kind of following the line of pictures on my own screen. So
Greetings, everyone. I hail from Seattle, and I retired a year and a half ago and have been involved in quite a few of the charter courses. And I recently joined their program team for the environmental sector, which I'm very enthused about. Another passion of mine is spirituality and interfaith connections. And as time goes on, I may also become involved in that sector as well.
great. And Michelle, there's a hint there for you. You might be interested in coming and joining us. We need all of you, actually, just because the charter over the years since Michelle referred to back in 2014, no, it was 2010, I think, that the Seeds of Compassion happened in Seattle with the Dalai Lama. And Desmond Tutu and Karen Armstrong. So since that time, that was the charter itself as an organization had not even incorporated then. And we didn't officially do that in 2014. So since then, we've grown substantially. So we're in 12 sectors and we have teams in each of the 12 sectors. So maybe it's something you can all consider, because we have one other person, but I'll call on you in a moment, Barbara, because you're out of my line here that I'm following. Barbara's with the art sector, and so she's here as well. Renee, you're next on my screen. Let's see, your mic is off, Renee.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Thank you for welcoming me. I'm new to this group. I'm a Buddhist from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was a member of the Charter for Compassion in St. Augustine, Florida. And I am looking into hopefully starting a group here in Philadelphia. I was really shocked that the city of brotherly love does not have a group. So that's something for September when everyone's back from the beach. My passion is the arts. And it's not just the arts, it's bringing the arts to youth, BIPOC, underserved youth, giving them access to the arts in order to help them flourish in life.
Great. You know, I'm just kind of wondering, Renee, that accent is not from Florida or from, I don't think, Philadelphia.
No, it's not. It's originally from south of London.
Yes, I kind of thought that might be the case. Yeah. Well, welcome. Marge. Up your mic.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, hello, everybody. Well, let's see. I'm a member of a faith community that signed on to the Charter of for Compassion very early on. I don't know how long ago. We were very taken by Karen Armstrong, and that's what led us to be involved. And I somehow have ended up being the person who's the, who tries to stay connected and then let the community know what's happening. So, or the rest of my community know what's happening. I'm retired. I'm a scientist, and I guess, and I'm a member. I've taken a number of CIT courses, including one that's related to resilience, and we've been meeting. I don't know if you know that group.
I do.
But we've been meeting every week for 2 years now.
Wow.
And so it's quite wonderful.
Right.
So
Where are you, Marge?
I'm in Arlington, Virginia,
Okay, great.
Washington, D.C. area.
Right. Okay.
That's plenty.
Lisa, your name is very familiar to me.
Hi there.
Hi, good
Hi.
to see you. I'm
Oh,
is there another
okay.
Lisa? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
That's okay. There's a Lisa and a Lisa. So we'll go with the Lisa who's on top of you, Lisa Walker.
Lisa Farnham.
Yep.
Okay, that's me. Hi, I'm from Spencer, Massachusetts, which is about an hour west of Boston. And I've been involved with the charter for maybe a couple of years. I've read several of Karen's books and have loved them. My passion is people, finding ways to connect and grow together, heal the planet together. And I am a member of the Conversation Collective, which I have really enjoyed greatly. So that's it.
Okay,
Yay.
all right. Yeah, the Conversation Collective is one of the courses that we offer through the charter. It's twice a week, actually, that people come together and share what's going on, and it's a guided conversation. Okay, Lisa Walker, who has been with the charter as long as I have been.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, it is true, Lisa.
Is that true? Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, I pale in comparison to Marilyn. She's awesome. I just have been so happy to get to know her and the whole charter crew. But I am in Austin, Texas. My background is, I guess, I would say I have lots of hats, but I am a public health physician by work background. And so health and well-being are important. And I think compassion is a driver and a key component to that. And then lately I've been really focusing a lot on the environment. And so that's a big push for me, passion for me. And so, and I was able to help found Compassionate Austin. So we have Compassionate Austin going here. And so that's it. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, Lisa's very modest, but I mean, she really trudged through in those earlier years to make Austin a compassionate city. And she did a compassion app, which I think,
not very techy, but it was an attempt to kind of get the juices flowing, so to speak.
Right. It served its purpose, and yeah, it's time to kind of reinvent it, I guess.
Sure, get some people who know what they're doing on, create a really savvy app. That'd be awesome.
Okay, great. Janice.
Yes. Hi, I'm Janice Elliott. I'm from Upland, California, and I'm on the Upland City Council. This is my 6th year on the City Council. Prior to being elected in 2016, I attended the formative meetings of the Charter for Compassion in Pomona. Got to know some of the leaders there and the Upland City Police Chief, along with some of our police officers. After I got elected, did not become a big concern of mine because I was the first Democrat in 25 years to be elected, and survival became my #1 concern. It was really rocky for the first 2 years. It's been a lot easier since, but we had a very popular police chief who was way behind the Charter for Compassion, and he and I got it through. Unfortunately, the city leaders know very little about the Charter for Compassion. They saw no information about it. We just passed it unanimously.
I know.
And at this point, it appears to be window dressing. I would like to put some meat on the bones, and that's why I'm here. But I need to have something that I can sell to the rest of the council,
Okay.
who are probably not very informed, but are very compassionate people and truly believe in the principles.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Merida, if you wouldn't mind putting in the link to our little 3-minute animation, which is an incredible overview. It's newer. We did it at the end of last year, and it's a good introduction to what happens in a compassionate city. So I think they'll enjoy it if they can give themselves 3 minutes of time. And it's wonderful that Upland is one of our newest compassionate cities. And you mentioned Pomona. And Pomona, I was answering somebody's email this morning and saying, you should look at Pomona's affirmation of the Charter for Compassion with City Council, because they actually have a clause in there about City Council acting in a civil manner to one another. It's one of the only affirmations that exists like that. So thank you for coming, Janice. Barbara Kaufman, put on your mic.
Hi, I'm Barbara. The Charter is one of my passions. I've been with the Charter for probably more than a decade. I'm a writer. Another one of my passions, well, art, of course, and shamanism. I've been studying that for about 10 years.
Okay, and Barbara is the coordinator of our arts sector team. So, you might be interested in joining her in that work. Sarah.
Oh, and I forgot to say I'm from Wisconsin, and I'm in Iroquois territory.
Okay, great. Appleton, Wisconsin, we should say, home of Lawrence University, one of my former employers. So, Sarah.
Hi, everybody. I'm in Northwestern Ontario, but I spend my time between Ontario and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I work with the Christine Center, and I volunteer with Sister Henrietta Frost, who joined the Charter of Compassion, I think in 2014. I joined her in 2020, sharing her blog that we continue. So we continue the Charter blog that started on the Charter on the Christine Center webpage. And then I recently became a member of the Christine Center board, which is the Christine Center is a retreat center in Willard, Wisconsin. And we're just trying to, Sister Henrietta and I are just trying to bring compassion into everything that the Christine Center does. So into the programming, into the communication. And so I joined today just to see how we could make the connection a little bit stronger. So that's why I'm here.
I was just thinking, and this is not a plug for money or anything, but one of the things that we're doing with the Charter Education Institute is we have 2 courses coming up in September and October. One is the Essence of Compassion. It's just to get the message out. It's $5 a course. And it's a self-directed learning course, and we'll be meeting online for a couple Zoom calls just to talk about what's there in the course. And then the second one, also another big $5 invitation, is the Science of Compassion. So again, Anita, when you're next to talk, but after that, maybe you can put the links up to those 2. Okay. Merida, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes.
She's the only person on this call other than our Canadian who trips between the border, who's not from the US.
Yes, I am. So I'm Merida McCarthy. I'm not from the US. I was born British and now live in Mexico. So I'm connecting from Monterrey, Mexico. It's the north of Mexico. I'm 3 hours away from Texas. And I'm program coordinator for the charter, have been for the last 3 months. And I'm just here to learn as much as possible about each one of you, how we can help you as partners as well, and how we can create this partnership so it's really strong and we can expand compassion further than we ever thought about.
Great. Thanks, Merida. And then we have someone on the phone. And I'm guessing it's RW. I'm not sure where the last name starts. So if you could turn on your mic and say hi and let us know who you are. Okay. Maybe we'll just keep going. If you feel that you can turn on your mic, that would be great. You know, I'd love to entertain any questions that you have about the charter. And, you know, I can be real quick and say in the United States right now, we have 197 registered compassion initiatives. That means community initiatives. So as some of you who are from the Seattle area know, Seattle was the very first compassionate city. And then a fellow by the name of Mayor Fisher from Louisville, Kentucky, heard about the Charter for Compassion and that Seattle was claiming to be a city of compassion. He came to Seattle and he challenged Seattle and said, no, Louisville is the most compassionate city. And with that challenge came, oh, here's our person on the phone coming in. Hi. Hello. Your mic is off. Okay, you just need to turn it on. Oh, we might have lost you again. Okay, we'll keep trying. All right, do you have your mic on now? Still trying to connect. But what happened was with that challenge was something that was called the Compassion Games started. So it was a competition, or as the Compassion Games like to say, a co-opetition between the 2 cities. And currently, Mayor Fisher has done an incredible job in Louisville of getting compassion to the forefront of people's acts of kindness. And each year there is a full week dedicated to people doing things for one another, and teams of people doing things, cleaning up parks, painting schools, filling up food pantries, doing all kinds of things. And I think last year they logged over 1 million hours of charity donation time. So that's just a little bit about, you know, we have all these compassionate initiatives. And one of the things is that, you know, everything that we do is really in communities is really based on volunteerism. And so, there's always a need for motivation. And our role at the Charter for Compassion is to try and help provide that motivation, to provide courses, to provide opportunities for people to come and experience some of the latest books on compassion. Like we're trying to convince Karen Armstrong with her brand new book, Sacred Nature, which will be coming out in the United States next month, that maybe we can have a global read with her. We have 12 global reads a year. We choose 12 films that we think that are inspiring and talk to compassion. And all of that's on our website. But I did want to take a little bit of opportunity today, and Lisa knows this fairly well because she sat through a couple of these presentations, but we have two projects that we have been doing, and they're invitations to you to not only participate, but to get organizations in which you are in contact involved. So for example, if you're an interfaith leader, then try and get everyone in your interfaith community to pay attention to the one thing that I'm going to show you first is our map. And we call it the co-creators map. And let me share my screen, and maybe one of you would be so kind as to be someone who would be a guinea pig for doing this. When you open our map, and Merida, I know, will be putting the link. It's on our website, but we'll just put the link in the website for you. We started this about 5-6 weeks ago, and it's an invitation for people who have a passion. And obviously, every single person on this call has a passion, and the passion is something that is a part of the work of the Charter for Compassion, that you're interested in the arts or business, interfaith, science and research, whatever it might be. But you also have an incredible interest in the Golden Rule and in compassion generally. And we want to gift, and that's G-I-F-T, gift this map to as many of our members and partners and cities as we can. If you have a website or you have accessible access to a website, you can take this information and make it your own. The link will lead back to the master map so that people can begin to see how they can make connections, and they can make connections directly. So you're going to have to help me, Merida, or someone will shout out who might be interested in getting their pinpoint on the map. And it's probably best to show you all of the things you can do with the map by having an example. So is there someone that is willing to become a person that we can put on the map, so to speak?
No one has lifted their hands up. Okay, Janice Elliott.
Okay, great. So Janice, so when you come to the map, the first thing that you do is you just say, okay, I'm going to register. And so Janice, are you willing to share your email? By the way, your email will not be shown, but you'll see in a few minutes why it's necessary to have your email.
Okay, sure. It's JANICE ELLIOTT 4, that's the number,
Okay.
UPLAND at gmail.com.
Okay, so that's California.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, now I need your postal code, and this is really important.
91786.
And the importance of the postal code is that, for example, Kingston, Washington has the same postal code as Zapoteca in Mexico. And so we need the state, the country, and the postal code in order to really be able to put the pinpoint down. Now, is it okay that we use your name? And we can go
Sure.
to- yeah, okay. Okay, and we don't need your phone number, but you can, and you can come back later and write something that you might be interested in or extend your interest, or let people know a little bit about yourself. But this map is designed to first get your primary area, just one primary area of interest. So it could be, and it's again based on those sectors from the charter. So interfaith, the spirituality, religion, science, technology, relations, peace, media, justice, and restorative, social and restorative justice, infrastructure and resources, health, government, environment, education, economics and business, arts and culture. So which one of those would you say is your primary interest?
I would say health.
Okay, interesting. A health person. Now, when I click on health, you have a challenge. So what areas of health? Healthy living, intricate, health, children, mental, trauma, women's, palliative care.
Healthy living.
Okay. Okay, now when we go to secondary areas of interest, you can have as many as you want.
Environment.
Okay. Let's go down there. And when I open up environment, there you go. Look at that. Climate, energy, plant-based diet, green building, population, regenerative, planetary boundaries, water.
Water.
Okay. Wow. And you can have any other interests.
Well, I have a lot, but those words are really tiny and I can't see them.
Okay.
So I'm good with what I've got there.
Okay, that's good. And you know what? I'm going to take the liberty of saying that you have looked at all the instructions and everything, and that you're willing to accept the terms. So I'm going to click on that. And if you're at your computers, which you obviously are, you have just gotten a message back from us saying that you are now registered. And so I'm going to enlarge. Have you gotten that message? Or maybe you're not in a position to go back and forth. I'm taking it. Okay, you
Yes.
got it. Okay. So Brandon just joined us. Another person just joined us. You have to be somewhere down here, don't you? Or my
Might
geography.
have to refresh, remember.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. I always forget that. Okay. Oh, look at that. Now I have to make a quick journey down the coast. Okay, so there you are. No, you're not. That was Brandon. Okay.
You had me for just a second there. I could see it.
Did I really? Okay, great. You're obviously not Tracy. You're not Ed or David or, oh no, I'm too far north. Rich.
I'm down by LA.
Okay. Okay, I'm in LA now. Brandon,
I'm inland.
You're inland. I don't see inland, but there's LA. John Boswell.
Just go east a little bit.
Jan Chase, you know Jan.
Oh, yes, definitely. She's wonderful.
Well, I'm going to take it that I do know who you are, that you made it and you'll find yourself. But here's the thing about the map, and it's the most important thing about the map, is that you get yourself on as a pinpoint on the map, and then you go up to the filter in the map and you say, gosh, I have an idea. I want to explore that idea with somebody. Or I have a program and I want to talk about the program. I have a project and I want some advice on the project. Or geez, I just want to get to know the people in my region. And so what you can do is, if you just want to know the people in the region, you don't have to do what I'm going to show you right now. You would just click on those individual pinpoints there. But let's say that, you know, your thing was health and well-being. So what I'm going to do is filter for health and well-being. And so here I can filter the whole world of people who have become a part of this map. And I can go and I can start reading, you know, like, what are these interest areas of these people? Like this individual says, my mission is to show you what's possible, body, business, and soul. That's kind of interesting. So maybe I'll select that person. Here's somebody down in the Carolinas, and they're into health and well-being integrative. And so maybe, I'm not sure what they're really saying there, but they're also interested in education. I'm going to select them. Now, as I start to select these people, look what happened up here. There is an invitation. And so this is the time that you use your own email address. You notice when I clicked on people, you never see their email address. But here you put in your email address, you put in whatever the subject line is. You might want to say contact from the co-creators map, and then you fill out your message and you send it along. And so this is a way that it's that tipping point that we're talking about, that, you know, in just a short amount of time, we've been able to get 350 or so people on this map. We want to get thousands. We want to get millions of people on this map. We want organizations that you represent, your church, for example. Just think, if all of your congregation joined in on the map, you would have another way of finding what is the passion that people bring to, you know, to one another, that they can share, inquire of one another, and cooperate with one another. So, like, for example, we have a number of charter members who are taking the map, putting it on their website so that they too can get people who are involved with a particular segment, like whether it's environment or the arts or business, where people can actually be contacting one another. We're also creating a map, which we hope will be available within the next month or two, that is just for younger people, people who are about age 16 on to about 35. And they too can be using that map. It's our youth map. And we're just working out some of the fields right now of interest that'll be a little bit different, and also some security issues. And I mentioned one thing about the map, which is very important, and that is that if you want to go in and change something, you have to be the one to do it. You have to deregister, and you have to start all over again, because there's no way that somebody can come in and change your profile. And so that's one of the security features that are part of the map. So that's one thing that we really want to get people to share with the map. The other thing, Brandon, I'm so sorry you came a little bit late, because we all introduced ourselves and you didn't get a chance to. Neither did Rachel or Vinny. So maybe before I move on, the three of you can just kind of check in, let people know who you are, where you're from, and anything else that you want us to know about you. Like for example, I could have said, I'm a Bugadia player. And that's really a truthful statement. And I'm a pretty good Bugadia player, which is an instrument from Eastern Europe. So that would be kind of my check-in. So what about you, Brandon? It doesn't have to be that weird.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that was an instrument. I'm really excited to learn more about it and hopefully hear you play.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brandon Keating. I'm the CEO of an organization called Unify, which is spelled funny. It's YOUNIFY. And I'll do a little fun fact about my name, which is also spelled funny, with the Brandyn. My name was originally Shannon for the first 13 months of life, and my mother changed it to Brandon after the song Brandy, You're a Fine Girl from the 70s. So Brandy for short, Brandon for long. I'm located in Santa Monica, California, and excited to be exploring partnering opportunities with Charter for Compassion.
Right. And, Brandon will be here at our next US chat because she has an incredible program that she's willing, along with the partners who are involved in that program, to share with the charter, especially with cities. And so, Renee, as you're getting ready for Philadelphia and making it compassionate, and Upland needs some little bit of help, Brandon is going to be here and to help along with that. And if you're a partner, then think about how what Brandon has to offer can also be available to partners as well. So we're excited about her coming along. So Rachel, hopefully you can unmute yourself and we can now, for maybe the third time, get to hear you. Oh no.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm so sorry. I'm on my phone and I don't really know how to use Zoom on my phone. So my name is Rachel Winnikin. I've been following Charter for Compassion from its inception, but never been involved in anything. This is the first time I've ever talked to anyone, and I'm very excited. I'm a retired children's librarian.
We need you, Rachel. We need you very badly.
Oh, well, I have, it's hard for me to decide what kind of passion I have. I mean, of course, children and everything that has to do with children and learning and art. I mean, all of them. I've been reading Karen Armstrong for 20 years and just loved her. And that's how I found Charter for Compassion. Recently, I retired due to health issues, and I've been waiting to feel wonderful and have a lot of time to do something, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. So I just decided to log on, and I had a near-death experience in December, so that has really changed my perspective on lots of things. So that's me.
Well, I'm glad you're still with us, and I'm glad that your phone's working. But do join.
I'm from Long Island.
Okay. Up until right now, when you said Long Island, I didn't get it. But now I can hear slightly.
Well, I was born in the Philippines and raised in the Midwest. I'm not really a Long Islander, so if you tell me I have a Island accent, I will not be happy.
Well, it's just, as I said, I didn't think you did until you said you said the word
Long Island.
And then it was like, oh, okay, yeah. Kenny.
Hello.
Stefanelli.
Yes. I'm not from Long Island though.
No,
I've been there. Right now I'm sort of involved in two things that seem to fit quite well. Back in 2011, I started an organization called Music for Veterans. I saw what was happening with veterans. I saw the suicides, the difficulty in transition from military life to civilian life. And I went through a crazy childhood with a volatile, violent divorce. So I knew how music soothed me through my life. And I thought that perhaps it would work with veterans. And it actually has worked quite well. We are up in northwestern Pennsylvania, right on Lake Erie. And we have been in this area for the past 11 years. And I've constantly have gotten phone calls from people across the country who are transitioning from the military to civilian life. And recently, because of COVID, here's the silver lining in the dark clouds, we started going to Zoom. And when we went to Zoom, when people would call me from outside of our area, I'd say, we are not there, but we get together on Zoom. And so we have expanded the program. We have an office that we're going to be opening up in Tennessee shortly. And we provide two things for veterans. One is learning an instrument so they can have something to work on their own self, emotionally, mentally, physically, because that's what instruments do when you play an instrument, singing or playing a piano, guitar. And the second part is that camaraderie. I knew this from being a musician. As soon as I find somebody who's a musician, I say, oh, what do you play? On and on, it becomes like we were friends for years. Veterans are the same way. No one knows the veteran experience but a veteran. So that's what we provide. Two things. We provide individual music lessons via Zoom or in person if you're in our region, as well as we do a weekly meeting where no matter where you are from or where you're at, you can join our meeting and sit around. Because of the technology, as you must all know by now, when you play music on Zoom, it just sort of crashes the system. So what we do is we pretend we're sitting around the living room and we each take a turn of playing music for everyone else. So I've been involved in that for quite a while. I'm also a filmmaker and a musician. The other project that I'm working on, I have been working on for the past 20 years, and it's now starting to come to fruition, is a music program for children, very, very young children. We figure if we get them at a very young age, we're going to teach them about music without them knowing that they're being taught. As soon as you tell a kid, we're going to teach you something, they say, boom, no, go ahead, try. At least I did when I was a kid. But so the program is, I'm going to show you a photograph here, or an image here. These are anthropomorphic instruments. They have personalities. They will talk to the kids. It's all going to be done through animation, and we have been starting on actually producing the first pilot for it in the past couple months. So we're moving forward on that. So those are the two projects that are close to my heart. Both of them have to do with music. Both of them have to do with education. Both have to do with giving someone a tool. You know, the old give a fish, feed a person for a day, teach them to fish. Both of them have that aspect of giving them something that they'll have for their entire lives. Music, comfort, friendship, communication, all the things that music provides.
Great, thank you. You know, you've really built a bridge to the next thing I want to share, but there's a question here. Do you envision organizations signing up in addition to individuals? Yes. In fact, the charter has close to 3,000 partners through its sectors, so that we have like 450 religious organizations. It could be churches, synagogues, mosques, or it could be organizations that relate to spirituality. We have, I know that we have over 400 in our peace sector. We probably have 100 partners or more in the arts. So in each of those 12 sectors that I mentioned, and you'll see the names of those in a minute, we have partners, and we try and work with partners as much as we possibly can, and to promote the work of partners, so that, like just right now, as Vinny was explaining, and if he was a partner, then, you know, here we are. We could say, when we do our education bulletin, which we do quarterly, we could promote Vinny's organization in that education bulletin. Or, for example, when there was the problem, which still exists in Flint, Michigan, you know, with the water situation, one of the things that we did was we put together 4 sessions on how a community, you know, who had a problem like the water situation in Flint, how we could work with our member organizations to help a community like Flint. So we did 4 webinars. We called out for partners, like in Louisville, Kentucky. One of our partners is Waterworks, and they are a volunteer organization, and as well as a regular for-profit organization that deals with water problems. So they helped us in putting together the webinars. We got unions involved, plumbing unions, to help inform the public. So all of these things are, we try as best we can to really cross the lines of intersection between need, expertise, and people volunteering and making a change. I know that this might sound like a political statement, but it's a truthful statement. When Mr. Trump was elected president, the next morning we had over 14,000 emails to the charter. People who were concerned, 40% of those emails were from Europe, because they envisioned 1939. Something that I'm not quite certain that many of the people in the United States envisioned. And so, that was a call to action for us, because we wanted people to have hope. We wanted people to feel positive, to say that, okay, we can deal with this, we can help one another, we can do these things. So we had a series of webinars with that as well. So that's what what the charter tries to do in a time of dilemma. And that was a dilemma. It continues to be a dilemma. But, I said that Vinny helped build a bridge, and the bridge that I hope will be something that you might want to participate in. And Vinny, this is your first call to action with the Charter for Compassion, and that is to create something in our Grassroots Wisdom and Action book. And this is a book that we hope will belong to every single person here. And it's an opportunity to share stories that can be replicated in some instances. People can engage in these kinds of things. They're benchmarks that happen, that individuals like yourself are involved in, or started projects that you've started, or community action kinds of different issues. So for example, let me go to this is one of our sectors, education. Let's go to education and see, you can see how fast my internet is. And okay, it's not wanting to go into education. I'm not sure. Okay, it's not wanting to go to anything. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's community initiatives. It has its own line. Okay, so this is our community initiatives, and this we have only been doing for a month. But the idea here is to get stories from various communities. So Barbara's from Appleton, Wisconsin. So Appleton, and Barbara helped us with this particular entry. Appleton, Wisconsin, a number of years ago, had a challenge where one of the art teachers wanted students to relate to compassion, and so created these uniform pieces of paper initially, and then another project picked up this idea and made it into tiles. So Lacrosse, I think, did the tiles and students made their impression of what compassion was. And in Appleton, it became very much an idea of an art exhibit that traveled around. In Lacrosse, another neighboring community, not so close, but nonetheless, they took the idea and they made it into a permanent exhibit as well as a traveling exhibit. And Lawrence University students took that same kind of idea about what is compassion, and they in turn did some things with manhole covers. So the idea here is that in each one of these instances, in all 12 sectors, there are ideas that you can share with people. Like, here's an idea. a couple years ago, we started something in the Middle East, in the country of Jordan, called the Compassion Education Summit. And we brought together 15 schools from 7 Middle Eastern countries. It continues today. It's now online because of COVID. But these students came together so they applied to come in each of their schools. The schools decided on who would come. They had to bring an administrator, they had to bring at least one teacher, and they had to bring at least one parent. And so they came to this education summit together to look at various aspects of compassion. And then we put them through a process called IDEO, which comes out of Stanford University, to try and really create strategic plans. And together they created strategic plans that they brought back to their schools. And then they would come back a year later and help spread the ideas of what they had done and kind of fertilize one another's ideas. So there's no reason why that Compassion Education Summit couldn't happen in Mexico, couldn't happen in Appleton, Wisconsin, or Seattle. And it doesn't have to be, it's a great integrative tool. It could be between, if you could get a public school and a private school together, or a parochial school. I mean, there's all kinds of combinations. And these are not long entries, they're short. They link back to your website, or they can link back to the map so that people can share these ideas with one another. So those are our 2 projects that we really did want to say are tipping point projects for us, because these are ongoing projects that allow people to talk with one another and to share really important ideas with one another. We have just a couple minutes left, so I don't know if I missed any questions that people might have. And if I did, why don't you just shout 1 or 2 out right now so that I could answer them?
I would like to say, if anybody wants any of the information in the chat, you can download the chat by going into those 3 little dots just after the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Comes up.
Yeah. And we'll be sending the recording to the other 55 people who didn't show up for this call. So I told you 1/3 of the people who registered come, but we'll make certain that others get this recording. One more alert. This is really important. I don't know if people here joined our gala last year. And okay, it is a fundraiser, but we don't turn anyone away. We had an incredible program last year. For 5 years, this will be our 5th year, we honor people who are exemplars in their fields of compassion. Last year, we did Krista Tippett, for people in the United States who know her, and her radio show. Parker Palmer gave her the award. We had Roshi Joan Halifax, who is just an incredible person in the field of palliative care. This year, and here's a little preview, and this is a test. We haven't unveiled who the people are, but I can tell you that one honoree is a former president of Ireland, is current president of the Elders, and was the Secretary General for Refugees for the UN. So that's one of our honorees. So if you can figure that out, then you know who it is. But we're going to be dropping clues about our honorees, and we are in the process of getting some incredible talent, because I think that people came back and said, boy, that was an incredible show because of the music. So we have a lot to really live up to. So we are now engaging various musicians and singers. And so the program will happen on November 12th. Yes. So we'd like for you to consider that. Bring a couple people together. And kick back your shoes and watch a really good program and share that with others. Okay, thank you all so much. We are at the top of the hour. And we look forward to some of you joining us to be volunteers. Just contact me, really easy, Marilyn@charterforcompassion.org. And we'll get you to our Monday meetings like Barbara and Steve, who come faithfully every Monday. And we share everything that's going on with the charter. And it's, in this case, our volunteer leads are from all over the world. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you all for coming today. And hopefully we'll see you next month with Brandy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.